And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC. If you do not know what Hello stands for, you should know that it stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Leverage Leading Edge Optimizations.
And more importantly, helping everyone live life optimally.
And with that being said, if you guys do not know, today we have an amazing guest, teacher Melanie. You guys know that she is in financial literacy, but instead of us talking about and showcasing teacher Melanie, we're going to share with you guys what we've been sharing with you guys from the jump is AI is here to stay. So we're going to let her talking avatar from Hello AI MotionWorks introduce teacher Melanie.
If you're ready to earn from home and design the life you've always dreamed of, I can help. As a financial life coach, I specialize in helping moms master the money game. From setting up your business structure to protecting and growing your income, I'll guide you every step of the way. And with my expertise in life insurance, investments, credit repair, and mortgages, my team and I are your one-stop solution for a strong and secure financial foundation. Book an appointment today by visiting teachermelanie.com. Let's build your financial future together.
Boy, I tell you, Teacher Melanie, if that doesn't, remind me of you yourself every time I see it. But, we would love for you to share more with the audience about who you are and what you're up to.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tara and David. Appreciate you all. Two of my favorite people in the world that has really allowed my platform to expand. So I just want to tell you publicly, thank you for all you do and how you service so many entrepreneurs, small business entrepreneurs. And so with that being said, for those of you that know, I am teacher Melanie and I am a financial life coach and I do everything from the womb to the tomb. And so one of the things that has really resonated me is because my life, right? Unfortunately, 2008, 2009, when the financial market crashed, my husband and myself crashed with it, guys. We had 13 investment properties and we ended up losing 11 out of those properties, whether it was through short sale, foreclosure. Then on top of it, one of the mortgage companies decided to sue us. And so we had to file for bankruptcy. So when we talk about being in the pit, right? But I'm thankful for that experience now because it really allowed us to resonate in so many things when we thought we understood the money game. And when that happened to us, there was so much more that we didn't know. And we also realized that there are so many others who don't know as well. And, coming from the classroom, I used to be a classroom teacher as well as a district administrator. And one thing the educational system does not do, it does not teach financial literacy, right? It'll teach us, Pythagorean theorem and all these different things. But when it comes to life skills that we need in order to maintain the life that we desire, financial literacy is not taught, right? And it's caught, as I love that you put it, right? It's caught, right? And how do we get caught? We get caught working, grinding, and paying bills until the realization is like, is this what life is all about? Is this what life is all about? Is it just about me getting up in the morning, going to work, come back and doing it all over again and spend a little time with my family, travel, hopefully if I can afford to travel and then do it all over again and get frustrated, then get caught up with life because now maybe there is more month than money. And, and if you have your significant other, right, what you talking about? We're talking about where the money at, right? Yeah. Nobody knows where the money at. So for me, this is a passion to really help families to understand the money game and what it means to really build their financial house, right? Because we know there's different levels. Just like anything, there's always another level, right? And we hear there is good, there is better, and there is best. Mm-hmm. And so now in this space, having the opportunity to be licensed in the financial service industry, from life insurance to investments. As I said, everything from the womb to the tomb. I get to help families to really build a customized financial game plan so they can understand where their money is and where it needs to be and how they need to treat themselves like a bill, right? So that in order to pay themselves first, right? Because now we get caught and say, okay, I got to make sure I can pay my bills. And guess where you are? We stay stuck in that pit, right? Because we don't realize that, wait a minute, I'm going to go ahead and pay my bills, be back to that once again, to the pit, right? Because now I've given all my money to everybody else and I have nothing to show for it. And so that's one thing that wealthy people do, right? They have a financial coach, right? They have that advisor where they pay thousands of dollars for it, right? They have a financial education, right? And then they have a financial game plan that they implement. And so what I do is that I offer those same service, right? So clients, so people don't feel like no matter what money you have, right? I get an opportunity to show you what you have and what you can do with what you have now, right? Because we have this false sense of mindset that I'm going to wait until I can get all this money and then I'm going to get myself in order. And the sad part is that you wait for that time to come. Well, maybe sometimes it might not happen. Yeah. When it does come, because that amount comes, you still don't know how to handle it. So you end up going back to where you were, right? Because if we search statistically what happens with a person who wins the lottery, in 3 years, they're worse off than where they are because they did not get a financial education. They just thought, I'm gonna buy a house, buy a car. Here comes cousin Boo Boo, and everybody else comes out the woodwork, say, can I borrow? Can I get? I know you can help me. And they're just like, sure, right? Just like a vending machine, sure. And then they're back to square one, right? So, one of the things that I get to offer is a complimentary 15-minute discovery. Because it's so important for me to help people to get to the point of let's see where you are and see if I'm a good fit, right? Because one thing to also have money come in, but you also need to have a business. You need to have a business, people. That's just the way the system is designed. The system is designed for you to have a business because now you can leverage how you do life, even in your extraordinary. I don't want to say ordinary, right? Because everybody's extraordinary or ordinary is different. What might be extraordinary to me might not be extraordinary to you, but it doesn't define that one is better than the other as well, right? Yeah. So really to navigate that process. Yeah. As you all know, I can keep talking, right, y'all?
No, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely. That's exactly what we wanted to share was the ability of how you are able to help, families, because there's financial teachers and advisors out there that all do different niches, right? And that's really why we invited you on today, was to share more about exactly what you do, so that way you can be able to help people get that literacy way before they even have that value in their hand, right? Because again, we know old habits pop up and it's like, ooh, I've really been wanting this, and this. And all of a sudden that list just gets real long because there is no, and then we don't think about the long-term effect. And so, how does financial literacy impact your finances? How does not having the education of how to handle your money really truly impact your finances as a whole?
Well, how it impacts is that when it comes to money, a lot of people make emotional decisions instead of mathematical, right? So life happens. And so a lot of times they'll think, okay, I got to figure out how quickly I can get this money. And usually they end up getting it further in debt, right? Mm-hmm. So when they understand that, okay, I need to prepare for life because life happens, right? Those unexpected things, life, and just like why we have our insurance, right? Insurance is not because, I want the house, something to happen to the house, right? I want something to happen to the car. We get it because if something does happen, we're prepared. And so when we understand financial literacy, that it's a preparation process. There's different stages, right? And so I said insurance, but I talk about the foundation of insurance, which is life insurance, right? And why is that the foundation? Because your income, my fabulous people, is your greatest asset. Your income pays for your food, clothing, shelter, making sure that your family is taken care of. But heaven forbid, if something happens to you, the breadwinner, right, then that income is a loss. And so what ends up happening is where now, as wonderful as a GoFundMe may be, as nice as the fish fry may be, and all the different fundraisers, it's not going to sustain a family. So what ends up happening within a year or less, that family either have to move, right? That other parent may have to get several different jobs. And then the whole family's life is changed. But just by doing a little thing, this is where literacy is so important. By doing little things now, when you are in the sound mind and body, right? It's going to help pay off later on because now you've able to prepare yourself in different stages, right? But it's not just about the life insurance as well, right? It's also about estate planning. right? What is estate planning? When we hear that word, we just think, oh, that is just for the rich and famous. I don't have an estate.
Yes, you do.
I don't have an estate. You're like, no, you have your estate is your children, if you have children, your house, right? Whatever thing valuable that you have, that's part of your estate. And so if you want to protect that, there is a legal process that has to happen in order for those things to be protected. I mean, we think about this. What was the gentleman, Chadwick, on what's the thing called again? The movie.
Yeah, the movie you're talking about from Black Panther. The gentleman, the star actor in Black Panther.
Yes. Listen, unfortunately, he passed, but he did not have an estate. He didn't have a will.
Yep.
James Brown, Aretha Franklin. The list can go on, and they're rich, right?
Yep.
And famous. And so when we think about financial literacy, this is one of the things that needs to be in place. The life insurance, the estate planning that needs to be in place, that now you can protect those things that you have. And then, heaven forbid, if you're unable to make a decision for yourself, then having a power of attorney. Once again, it goes back to those little steps that's going to help protect you along the way. With life. So, I mean, there's that other stuff, but I want to go ahead and let you answer your
you said something that was crucial, because a lot of the times we spend our time, and we like to go in on these conversations. A lot of the times we spend our time on the nonsense. We spend our time on that Louis purse. We spend our time on, oh girl, I'm going on this vacation. Spend our time, oh, I'm going out to do this. I'm going out to do this. And then when it does happen, when something does come up, we're not preventative, and we are doing these GoFundMes. We are doing these fish fries, and you're spot on of what happens, that we want to look good, but we don't want to put the things in place that help us be good. And that's the crazier part about it, is that, as I will continue to share with us all, rich people educate themselves. Broke people entertain themselves. And so often we find people on the broke side because they could have educated themselves and learned this knowledge. And the crazy thing about it is, little old you and me can sit here to the mountaintops and share all this information, and somebody with a little clout, somebody with a little bit more followers will say the exact same thing we're saying, and they'll be all over it like, ooh, let me listen more. And you've been sitting here sharing this with them, where they can get the information even more personalized for them, and get even more detailed for them, and they won't pay attention until it's too late, until somebody does pass, until something does happen, and then it's like, oh my God, what do I do? Well, you should have been listening, and you should have been paying attention, as we share with people with AI, as we share with them with the metaverse. It's two different types of businesses that are about to happen. One, people that implement AI, and two, those that are no longer in business. As simple as that. And this is where we're going if people aren't listening to what they're saying and what their customers are saying, especially with experiences that we all want to create. And that's literally what you're able to do for your clients and your audience as well. And so I know we share these things about metaverse and about AI and debunking a lot of these misconceptions that people have. What are some of the things that you would like to debunk when it comes to financial literacy, just off the top?
Wow, David, that's so powerful. One of the things is that the myth that you need thousands of dollars to get started. That's a myth. First of all, you need to have the mindset, but you don't need to have thousands of dollars. Can you imagine that $25 can help you to start building your financial house? And I like to say financial mansion because I want people to think bigger. $25 can help people to start investing in stocks, start having to diversify their portfolio. $25 can help start protecting their family. It all depends on their different circumstances, but it takes a little, right? So little is much. We have a saying that little is much when God is in it, right? And so a little bit of something can go a far way when you do it consistently. And so when we think about, we spend $25 just on ourselves, on food.
Average meal, $12.35
Hello.
on junk.
On junk. We spend $25 where you want to I don't even know where my money went. This will let you know where your money is going, because you can see it. You can see it growing. What has been so profound for me, which is such a blessing, is when people who said to me, I can't save, that I can't do that right now. And when I show them and help them to be accountable for their money, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I never thought that I would be able to. And then when life happens and they can call me, coach, how's my investment? I say, okay, you have this one, life is happening, blah, 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 this or the other. Can I get $500 out of it? Yeah, you can. And guess what it's not going to do? It's not going to mess up their budget. It's not going to put them deeper in a financial hole. What else is it's not going to do? Their money is still going to continue to grow. And that's when they're like, thank you so much for forcing me sometimes, right? Or encouraging me to go ahead and start with where I am. That right there is powerful. So that myth of I need a whole lot of money, or I have to wait until everything is perfect. I got to get a better job. No, because a better job, what ends up happening now, because you think you have more, now you spend more on things that you don't need to impress people who don't even care.
Hello. Say that again for the people in the back.
Let me say that again. I like you to
get it out for the people in the back, please.
Way in the back, okay? That was on the phone doing foolishness. You go ahead. You say you wait till it's perfect, or till you get a better job where you make more money, which you end up spending for money and buying things for to impress people who don't care. Because you're trying to keep it with the Joneses, but guess what? You don't know what the Joneses is going on in their house. You don't know where they have to pay, right? Peter to pay Paul, right? They're in such credit card debt, but you're trying to keep up with them. So I want to encourage you, don't wait until you think you get something better. You start with where you are, because now God can see that you can handle better than you can handle the best. But you have to start where you are with your mess. Okay, start with where you are at the end of the day.
Yeah. You talk about the myth of I need to have money. I need to have a perfect situation. I need to have, that better job, and then I can start saving. Another myth that you said was the whole I can't save. And, I want you to share with us how families can save for their children's education, so their college education and things like that. How are they able to take those action steps?
All right. So one of the ways they can do is what is called, there's several different custodial types of planning. There is called a 529 plan. A 529 is specifically for college education, or I like to say education period, right? Because the 529 plan also allows you, if you decide that you want to send your children to private school, you can send them to private school and you can spend up to $10,000 a year from K to 12, right? With the 529 plan as well. Now you use that money specifically just for education. So tuition, books, room and board. But how it works as well. So if a parent has a 529 plan for their children, and that child does not decide to go to college, now that money can revert back to the parent, right? Because the child is just the beneficiary. They're not the owner of it. The other thing too is that if a grandparent, right, or a non-parent opens up a 529 for a child, and that child that it opened up decides not to go to college, then that money could be rolled over into a Roth IRA. This is something that has just happened since the ending of last year, right? So this is a new gap, right? And what ends up happening as well, then they're not hit so much with the gift tax, right? You have the limit of $18,000 contributing to education per year. If they're single, married, have up to $36,000 without hitting the gift tax. But Wealthy people use this as a way to protect their taxes as well, right? With the 529 plan. So the other side too is that, heaven forbid, right? Because I don't believe, being an educator, I'm not all things where you need to go to college, because I truly don't believe college is for everybody, and it doesn't determine whether that child is going to have a good life whatsoever. Okay. There are what is called an UTMA, right? Uniform Transfer Minority Act, or you have an UGMA. Okay. Now, the difference between a 529 plan and an UTMA or an UGMA is that the money belongs to the child when they turn of age. And the money is not just used for college. It can be used for anything, whether that could be to buy their first house or their first car, to help them to start their business, right? That's where the UTMA or the UGMA. So if you want a little bit more versatility when it comes to investing in your children, I would definitely suggest or encourage a 529, an UTMA or an UGMA. But if you're just like, well, just in case if my child goes to college, I want them to be prepared. Absolutely. I've actually done, I do all three of them, right? Their grandparents actually has an UGMA for them. I do a 529 and an UTMA. And, okay, for those of you that don't know, if your children have earned income, okay, you're so wise that you've been teaching them financial literacy by having them to have a business, right? Or maybe you hire them in your business, parents. That's a whole nother different question or response, where now they have earned incomes, and now you can open up a custodial IRA, which now allows them to contribute to their retirement. But the thing about the Roth IRA custodial is that there's a little bit more leniency in that, because you can use that money first for college. You can use it to buy your first house. You can use it for other things as well without a penalty on that. But it starts allowing them to build up their financial eggs sooner than later. So once again, it doesn't take a whole lot. It does not take a whole lot. It just takes a mindset that, you know what, I want more for myself and my family. What can I do now to begin that process?
Yeah. And, that's something that you have consistently shared with people, to be able to set their children up right now. And that is why we're having this conversation, because that's the premises of this. Do not let financially literacy get caught. This is where you can teach it. And this is where people can just press the button on your Biz in a Box and go schedule that 15-minute consultation with you and get this information and really be ahead of the game. But instead of watching an NBA game, instead of watching that next, series that you want to watch, instead of watching that Netflix, this is where people can spend that time, instead of being out there talking about, girl, I got my stuff together. And then when something happens, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
And so this is really where we got to be able to get out of our old conditioned ways and understand, we've been sharing with people that, collaboration is the new currency.
Absolutely.
And currency is the new energy. And it's the energy that you show up and the vibration that you show up. Because look, I'll be the first one to tell you, when we did start getting our financial literacy in order, it was that stigmatism. Dang, I don't want this person to know about my money.
Talk about that
situation I'm in. I don't want, and look, you got to let go of that, because you not taking care of that now is going to cost you 10 times fold when they go to ask you, hey, I need that money. You're like, I ain't got it. And they're like, why? What you been doing? And so, this is really where I encourage you guys all, like I had to, drop your pride, drop your ego, and really start retooling and reorganizing these things. And so, other than, the financial literacies that people are dealing with now, where do you see, the financial literacy and technology clashing together and being able to, to help people? Would you say, Love?
Oh, I was just saying coming together. Yeah.
What is so powerful is that you can use technology to help create a budget. Put your information in there. It will create a spreadsheet, the whole 9 yards. You can use it to learn about different aspects of stocks and bonds and all those things, mutual funds, right? Knowing the difference, right? What's making you to help sound investment. And with what we have is that we use everything is technology. There's nothing that I'm writing on paper. It's like, hold up, no, I'm putting it in the system. The system then tells me, according to the where the person is, give a suggestion on different plans that's going to be suitable. So what we do is that it's customizable to where you are, right? What your goals are and what roadmaps you need to be able to take to get to your goal. So nothing has happened on paper. Everything is done by the technology that I use in creating the customized financial game plan, because this is not a one-stop box thing, right? Okay. This is where everybody's road to their success is different. And so with the technology, if you are not involved in the technology, you're missing out on so much. It's going to really help put you on the path, right, of success, because you're not having to figure it out for yourself. You can put the information right, bam, here's something. And when you look at the plan, you're just like, wow, oh my God, this is like amazing. This is really talking to my language. I don't have to feel intimidated as well, right? And I love what you said as well, that oftentimes people get embarrassed, right? Because they're like, no, I don't want them to know about what's going on with my life, whatever the case may be. Listen, that's why I always share my story about suit and bankruptcy and all that type of stuff, because I want people to know that life does happen, but it does not break you. It just makes you, right? It doesn't determine your success where now you're going to be there forever. No, it's just a temporary setback, right? For a greater setup. It really is. It really is. When you put in the mindset, you know what? This is just the beginning of something even greater. What do I need to learn from this? And keep moving forward.
Yeah, when you talk about that, especially just being open and honest, people really vibrate with the authenticity of it, because it is when someone can tell on themselves before somebody figures it out for themselves. Mm-hmm. It creates an environment of a safe mm-hmm. environment, so that people go, you know what, they've been there, they've been through some challenges, they understand, and they can really be able to empathize with where right. I'm. And that's a big understanding, because all too often we've been across the table instead of sitting on the same side of the table. Right. That right. person, walking those shoes, walking a mile in someone else's shoes. Mm-hmm. And as you shared about where we're going with the future, and how the future and technology is literally helping people put a game plan together. Mm-hmm. How can people utilize you and the services, technology, to be able to start planning for that future generation? How do people even stop where they are now, and they go, okay, I don't even have a pot maybe to tinkle in or throw it out the window, but how do they even think about a future generation by utilizing that financial literacy you're talking about, and maybe the power of technology as well? How can they do that?
How can they do that is start tracking. There are so many apps that are out there. There's so many apps. And if you're afraid of an app, okay, then type it in your phone. Okay. But start tracking, even if you do it for a week. Usually I let my clients, depending on where we are, sometimes it's a week, 2 weeks, a month. And once they start tracking, and I said, I don't care if it's a penny. I want you to track it. And it is such an eye opener when they realize, oh my gosh, I spent $250 on lunch for the month. And like, really? I want to show you, right? I want to show you what you could have done with that $250 for a few years. This is what you can do. This about $75, $100 could have gone to your life insurance. Then some investment for yourself, right? Your retirement. Then an investment for your children, because they say you want to have something for the college. That's what it. Oh, and by the way, in a 5-year period of time, in a 10-year period of time, in a 20-year, this is how much it would grow to. So when they realize it, and when they say, "Oh my goodness, I cannot save," and this is where you can save. Now, I'm not saying not to eat out, okay? Because I still believe in enjoying life. I don't want to always have to cook. I don't like to always stay and cook. But what I'm saying is that take some of that now and now put that in something that you can be able to really get to enjoy your life, no matter the different stages. Because I don't believe that you need to just live on a tight budget and, you're just like, we're eating beans and rice for the rest of our life. Absolutely not. I don't think God would be pleased with that either. Right. Yeah. Because he wants us to be prosperous. Right. And prosperity is spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially. So it's a total man. But what it does now, you're more conscious of the decisions that you make because you realize, okay, so if I go ahead and do this, I'm going to go ahead and taking care of somebody else. They're going to have more money, then I'm going to have nothing to show for it once again.
Yeah.
Once again. So getting that app, tracking those expenses.
And you say that, and that's the same exact conversation that we share with people when they say, oh, I don't have time to showcase my business and build a brand for my business. I'm just going to sell people. And I'm like, whoa. We got to build a brand before we can start selling, number one. And so what I want you to do, I want you to go to your phone and go to this thing called Screen Time. And on this app in your phone, you hit that screen time, and then it literally gives you a big graph. And it shows you where you spend your time. So when you say, David, I don't have time, and I say, okay, let's go to that screen time, and it says you spent 45 minutes on Instagram, an hour and a half on TikTok, 30 minutes on Facebook. It's like, whoa, what you mean? We got plenty of time to showcase our business. And so this is where we have to be self-conscious and get out of that program way. Last night, me and Tara had the opportunity to watch this movie called Free Guy. Yeah. And, it's with Ryan Reynolds that created Deadpool. And at the very beginning, it showed him waking up every single morning, ordering coffee the same way, going to his job, doing the same things over and over and over again. And I looked at Tara, I was like, this is where we are as a society, and we're not waking up to understand we can do anything and everything that we want to do if we get out of this old traditional patterns. Mm-hmm. And so often in our life, because of our habits, because of us looking at what our mom and dad did, and go back and look at your family tree and see who's good with money and who's not. And I guarantee you know exactly who it is, and that trait might have followed you as well. And so this is where we share with people, you got to get out of those habits, get out of those conditioned ways, especially looking at this movie last night, where he literally start becoming an AI, person in this game, and the AI grew, and he had the opportunity to put some glasses on in metaverse, and it changed his world to where he was doing something new, and he was showing other people how they could do something new, and it created this whole new experience. And that's really what you're doing, in the financial sector, is unrevealing this normal pattern of the way that we look at finances, just like we're doing with AI and metaverse, to be able to help people change the way that they look at the used to, change the way that things have to happen that we thought have to happen, because what got us there, what got us here isn't going to get us there. And it's time to change, implementing these tools that can help us with this workflow, and we don't have to know it. That's the great thing, that, we get to utilize this technology where it's copy, paste, drag, drop at the end of the day, right? And so, with that being said, as we talk about technology, you being one of our amazing Biz in a Box clients, you had one of these things called the Linktree, beforehand. If you could, now that you've had your Biz in a Box, I think well over 6 months now, what advice or what experience would you share with the people, with your Biz in a Box now compared to your Linktree?
Well, first of all, I got to say, guys, David did the screen share with me, by the way. Okay. So I learned that one. And I was like, look at this. Okay. So that was an eye opener for me, plus some other little tools. But what I will definitely say is this, that it has been such a positive experience, and just a showcase, and something that I love when people go on and I send them to the site, and they're just like, oh, this is so nice. Like, wow, this is really nice. And I'm like, thank you very much. Okay, right. That first impression. And the other thing too is that it doesn't seem like it's overwhelming, right? They don't feel it's overwhelming. They have to click through so many tabs. They can go through, find so many different features to it, right? No matter all the different things that I do, but it's in a place where it's organized, right? In a very organized fashion. And when I first saw it, and I was just so impressed. I was so impressed and just so pleased on it, that everything that I do is on this site. Everything, right? People can go back and they can put their appointments. They can see the different courses that I offer, the different services that I offer, as well as some of my affiliates. They can be able to see all the things that I offer and realize that, okay, it doesn't have to be something that is where you got to click here, you got to click here, you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to put this. No, it's truly a one-stop, or as I say, and I still keep that, it's a one-stop party shop.
And especially with you, doing your podcast, a lot of people are starting to pick onto this podcast, and we've been talking about podcasts for 8 years now.
Yes, I remember.
Hey, get your podcast. And now, instead of you just sending people your Spotify link and you competing with everybody else's podcast, and we know people's attention span is less than 7 seconds, maybe 3, they're going to go listen to somebody else's podcast, or they're not going to go download that Spotify. They're not going to go put in your actual, podcast on your Biz in a Box. You literally can say, go listen to my most recent podcast, and boom, this allows them to listen to your podcast while at the same time learning more about what you do. Mm-hmm. And so this is so beneficial with you not only being able to showcase your podcast, but also being able to give them access to your YouTube, where YouTube right now is huge for those of you that do have a business. Right. This allows you to get even more exposure and for you to create this whole entire portfolio, and something that we share with you guys all. Get out of your own way of utilizing social media. This allows Teacher Melanie, for her 3 children, to go back and look what Mama did with all these videos, where if she didn't go live and she didn't showcase this, they have no memory of what you did and how you were able to create this. And this is where we give people a different alternative of how they should look at social media, how they should be able to build their brand and really be able to get themselves out there, because now more than ever, we have the ability to have that Super Bowl commercial. We have that ability to have our own QVC show. We have that ability to literally showcase everything and anything we wanted to, because now it's copy, paste, drag, drop. And that's the one great thing about our Biz in a Box, is that, we're allowed and we give you that experience that people want, especially as we're able to implement this metaverse in this 3D environment, where people are going to be able to say, forget your website. What metaverse world are you in for me to experience things in a more creative way, especially with the average age of the world being 30 years old? And when I say that, people are like, what? Go Google it, GTS it, as they say, and you will see that the world average age is 30.5. So 31, if you want to add up. And these kids and these youngsters that we once were, that we sometimes forget that we were kids as well, and we wanted all these new gadgets and gadgets and all this other stuff. It's here now, that where the Flintstones, the Jetsons with the watch, the Zoom.
Oh my gosh.
It's here. Robotics is about to take over. So as I will say once again, it's only 2 types of businesses that will be moving forward. Those that decide to implement AI and utilize AI, or those that will no longer be here and they will be the next blockbuster. They will be, almost where Netflix didn't make it neither, and if they didn't, pivot over. And so this is where we share with people, you got to get rid of that old, crusty, dusty implementation that you were utilizing before the pandemic, after the pandemic. We're now, 2 years after that, and what are you doing to implement in your business? And not only that, it's the 5th month of the year. What have you done in the last 5 months to put into your business and to implement new AI, technology into your business? And so that's the key thing.
A beautiful thing that I like about it, Teacher Melanie, is that everybody can go to teachermelanie.com right now, and they can book their 15-minute appointment right there. Just scroll down a little bit, and there's that button right below there that you can click on, and they can book a 15-minute appointment with you, and they can ask these questions, and they can say, hey, look, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. This is where I've got right now. This is what's not working. And, they'll be able to connect with you simply, and they can go check out your free checklist here, your free guide that
Thank you.
which is absolutely a gem. You get in there and it gives you basic points and tips and steps how to create your home-based business and why you want to be doing that. So as you all heard Teacher Melanie earlier sharing that it's very important to start your own home-based business, and very important if you have kids to put them on the payroll. That is the precursor to it. So go get that guide, then book your 15-minute call and say, okay, I got your guide. I read it. Now what do I do? And be just proactive. That is the biggest thing. And last but not least, your health. Your health is everything. I will say this, guys. You can have all the wealth in the world, but if you are not here, it doesn't matter. So the most important wealthy thing is you first. As Teacher Melanie said earlier, your mindset, because that's there too. So that's a part of your health. And then your financial pocket is the second. So those go hand in hand like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Peanut butter and jelly, they go hand in hand right there. And so it's so important to understand you got to take care of your body, take care of your mind, and then get there and be there. And I will say this. From someone, as David shared, who, we all have pride within our finances. We do not want to talk about where we are lacking because we're so worried about the judgment. Right. And Teacher Melanie creates such a safe space for people to jump in, ask her questions, because she's been there. She has shared about when her and her husband were facing these foreclosures, when they went for a walk and one walked one direction, the other one walked the other direction, and they didn't know if they were going to where they were going in the life, right?
Let me tell you, that's right.
And that is why Teacher Melanie is sitting here today to share with us and to share with you guys, and to be able to push this information out there, because she has walked those shoes. And so you don't have to be in financial crisis to reach out to her, but if you are in financial crisis, you can also reach out to her. And so, Teacher Melanie, is there any closing remarks you would love to leave us with as we go ahead and bid adieu here?
My closing mark is start it where you are. Don't wait to everything is perfect, and don't listen to the person that is not where you want to be. If they are not where you want to be and you are getting advice, it's like the blind leading the blind. That person is broke. You're trying not to be broke. So that means you need to get counsel, wise counsel, with somebody that can take you to the next level. That's why it's so important to have coach. Athletes have coaches, and they have coaches with their coaches on top of that. There's a reason, because they want to get to the next level. So I say, if you're ready to get to the next level, let's connect. Don't allow the fear, get you stuck, because you're just like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want everybody to know. Don't allow that. It's in a different time, and there's differences, and there are so many opportunities out here. And guess what's going to happen? The legacy that you're able to create because you started, you stepped out, it's going to yield a world of difference. I cannot stress that enough. A world of difference. So my last word is get started.
Push the button, as we say. Push the button.
Push the button. Because when they say, I'm good, but listen, there's good, there's better, and there's best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And, I love the fact of, just show up and be authentic and be open. And this is something that we shared with people all the time, but we added on to it is that, you have to be able to open up the 4 most expensive things on planet Earth. And they're all free, and they're all on you right now.
Wow.
And that is for you to be able to open up your mind, right? That is for you to be able to open up your mouth and ask questions. And that is up to you to open up your heart and allow you to open up and expand those things and let go of the trauma, let go of the drama, let go of the patterns, the programs. And then most importantly, like you said, open up that hand. in order to ask for help, in order to invest in yourself, in order to actually pay for the things that you need. Because I'm here to share with you guys all. You know, we have our Pivot membership that starts out at $7 a month, 23 cents a day, and it has all the things that people in their need, and people aren't willing to invest in $7 to get them to learn about these things where we can show them, teach them, or do them for them. And then we hear them be like, oh, I need to learn this. Oh, I need to learn that. And I'm like, hello, are you not hearing what we have? And what Teacher Melanie has that she shares all the time, because I know she uses our Magic Jewel app, and you guys see about her social media all the time of what she provides and how she's able to provide you, but we're unwilling to press that button. So more than anything, today, tomorrow, the next 48 hours, invest in something that you haven't invested in before. And tomorrow's Friday. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, I deserve to go to happy hour. No, you don't. Oh, I deserve to get a new t-shirt or go to the club or do this. No, you don't. You need to go sit your butt down somewhere, and you need to invest in what's about to happen and be preventative and stop worrying about how you're going to look now and what other people perceive you as now. Because I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of people that talk, but we get behind that curtain and they ain't walking a lot. And so this is where we encourage you guys to make sure that you start preventing yourself for the future and your finances and your health and your wealth and all aspects, because those things are changing and shifting faster than ever. It's not, here in the next 2 to 3 years or, 5 years. No, it's happening. As I'm showcasing a robotics post later on, we're talking about, AI. I'm here to tell you, AI was just the beginning. Robots is what you should be worried about taking your job, where they got robots that are Tesla, by the way, is coming out with these new robots that are coming out by the end of the year, where maids doing accounting, doing all of these things, robots are going to be there. And so buckle up, buttercups, as we continue to share with you guys and really be able to invest in the future and not what's going to make you look good right now or avoiding not to look good because of what the society says we need to have, right?
Right. Absolutely. David, my wish is that people will listen. Just take the time and listen and start. I'm gonna say it again. Just get started. Get started, because you cannot be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. And you talked about the robots. And yesterday, my daughters, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, they are part of the GEM, which is the Girls Engineering Math Program. And this past Tuesday it was, the class was on technology, and they all got these little robots and created their different robots and how the robot is moving and all this. And I'm saying, girls, go full-fledged. And I went online and said, let me see what else I can find for you and start cultivating, because parents, we are our children's first teacher. Let's start there. And so I want you to look yourself in the mirror, right? Is that, do you want your children to be a reflection or you are better? Then you have to get out of your way. You have to get out of the way and expose them to different things that's going to take them financially, technology to the next level. And I'm so glad that my parents were who they were, because when a lot of kids didn't have a home computer, my father, because he's a techie himself, he loves all technology. He made sure that we had the Atari. If y'all remember the Atari, I'm dating myself. Okay, we had the Atari, we had the Commodore, we had the first home computer, this big old thing. So I say, don't be afraid to embrace technology, and you cannot break a thing. If you press the wrong button, it's called reset. It's okay. It's okay. If you delete something, it's okay. You can always do it again. So embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
You say something I remind people all the time. Your kids are watching you.
Yeah.
They're watching you to see what you do. And I remember this a lot of times, my mom would come home from work and she'd be right there in front of the TV. Dad come home from work. He'd be outside, in his little man cave. And they're watching you to see what you do. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget my sister. One time I was talking to her and she's like, oh, I deserve, to have a drink. I deserve to have this. And I'm like, no, dog, we don't deserve none of that stuff. This is a tradition that you've got from mom and dad. And this is now passed on. We have other things that we could be doing, such as investing into a side hustle, such as investing into something that we like to do and can turn that passion into profits.
Right.
And so often we get caught in these habits.
Right.
Habits that don't serve us well. And this is where I encourage you guys all to really, parents, what are you doing? Because you don't be in there telling your kids to be in there reading and getting educated, and you sitting up there watching football, NBA, and all the rest. They are watching you, not what you're telling them, and especially right now.
Absolutely.
I might have stung some people right there on that one, but
you stung some. You stung some, because people be surprised that during a weekday, my children do not watch TV.
Boom.
That's the thing we just do not do on a weekday. So when Friday comes, which is movie night for us, they're just like, it's movie night. We can watch a movie and not have to. Okay, fine. Because there's so much thing that's this wonderful box, right? That just keeps them glued and mesmerize them, right? And shift their thinking, as opposed to, listen, there's so many things that they can do in a book, explore, discover, okay? Outside of these crazy shows out there that I don't even think some of them are even conducive for children to be even watching anyways, much less adults on there. Okay. So let's get them outside of that. Like, first of all, let's get them outside. Let's talk about that too. Get them outside and get them to the next level.
Yeah. It really is amazing that at, the end of the day, everybody's watching everybody. They don't even have to be your children. They can be other children. They can be other people. They can be on social media. And it is just taking the power of what we're doing here and having community and coming together and sharing and how to better your life. And like David said earlier, rich people educate themselves, broke-minded people. It's not broke, but it's broke-minded. Themselves, because at the end of the day, you can have a lot of money in the bank, but you can also be broke-minded. So there is a huge difference with that. But as we close up today, we thank you so much for your time, Teacher
My
Melanie.
pleasure.
Everybody go out to teachermelanie.com and visit and get her guide, as well as her amazing 15-minute consultation. And with that said, we're going to leave you with a bunch of love,
kindness,
and integrity,
but most importantly,
commitment,
and consistency.
And until next time,
Toodles.
take care, everybody.
Bye.